Surprise, surprise.
Just
My
don't
man.
say anything embarrassing.
Right? All right, people, welcome back. This is Kickback Anime Discussions. As you guys know, the chillest anime podcast on the platform. And this is one of your co-hosts, RTL Faith, as today we are talking about the most important anime of all time. So this should be a very good discussion. And I'm here with my two co-hosts, of course, and Johnny Let's Talk Anime and Squid the Cynic.
Yo, what's up?
I'm innocent.
All right. And for a special guest for today's episode, we have our guy here, a fellow podcaster himself, Geek Eire.
And I love it how no one's able to pronounce the name Eire.
Era.
Oh.
How's it going, guys? I'm Geek Eire. I go by Sean Alpha on the podcast, but I'm representing Geek Eire podcast. Nice to be here, guys.
Oh wait, your name isn't Geek Fire. I'm dyslexic.
Now we're getting it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm originally actually from New Jersey. Both my parents are from Ireland. That's the reason why we moved over here about 21 years ago now. And I've been involved in the anime scene, since when Pokemon first aired on TV.
Gosh.
Yeah, back in the early days of Toonami. And, I've been podcasting since 2013. I've had everyone from Spike Spencer, the original voice actor for Shinji and Evangelion. And I had, even just last year, I had the creator, the My Hero Academia fan that stopped a machete attack in LA.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's a
odd
thing?
What an odd thing to put on your resume. I like My Hero, and I also stopped a machete attack.
Hey, my man is a man of many talents.
I stopped a machete attack on RTL once.
My man saved,
Well,
my man saved my life.
I stopped my dog from attacking the mailman.
That's not okay. They're sworn enemies.
Ooh, facts.
Oof.
Yeah. Is there anything else? How do you say it again? Air?
Geek Eire.
Era.
ERA.
Kind of like
Yeah.
the Mesozoic era.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Geek Era?
Sure. I am a purveyor of obscure and bad anime, but I also enjoy the best anime there is to get. The only
That is
good,
the
only
most vague thing I've ever heard.
no, the worst crime an anime can commit is a forgettable one.
That's like all of them.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say that.
Did RTL die again?
Oh,
No,
she was
I was
dead.
just telling
No.
my sister to turn her Naruto off because it was too loud. But yeah, so this is Geek Era, and we're talking about the most important anime of all time. It should be an interesting discussion because obviously, when you're talking about importance, it's kind of subjective, right? So it's like, first, I guess we should kind of define what important is, just kind of begin things. Anybody want to give their own definition? Why don't you, the guest? What do you think?
Sure. So for me, what I consider as importance is not just the impact on anime in Japan, but also on an international basis. Something that's was able to branch the divide, especially, from countries, France, Germany, over in America and Canada, and has fans from all different languages.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Does everybody kind of agree with that definition?
The impact of that it has on other cultures, not just its own.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. I like that. I like that definition.
Yeah, what do you think, Squid?
I would
Kinda,
also kind of like to add on real quick
yeah, go for it.
that it should, like, for the so that the older ones can have a chance to, like, in something that inspires more of its kind of a thing as well. Inspires others to make more. Inspires in other anime. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's basically
Yeah.
how influential it is.
yeah, very basically important, influential, impactful, all in the same kind of vein. It's definitely hard to really determine its importance in Japan itself, because anime is like a huge thing in Japan because it's the originator, and it's kind of intertwined with their culture itself. But so it's really hard to really say what is the most important in Japan itself, unless you do like.
So for myself, I'd actually choose Akira.
Okay.
For my debate on this, or my stance on this, is in the year that I was born, 1988, when it originally premiered, the anime industry was giving a ridiculous amount of money to pretty much any project it is. And probably to date, it's probably one of the most expensive properties that it almost bankrupt the anime industry, because the amount of money that was actually put into it, there was no amount of talent that can actually compare to the style and details that were actually included into the film at the time. Now, it is one of the first. The manga wasn't actually completed at the time, but the original creator was behind the project. But the impact itself, it was probably, it's considered not just as one of the most important anime, but as far as one of the most important film pieces that when it was shown over in America for the first time, it actually freaked out some of the critics. That there was like, they actually burst out of the cinema and wrote this huge pieces complaining about the horrors of anime, but it put anime on the scale. It was the first anime that was ever in the cinema. And even today, the influence that anime has actually done from there's references to even modern day anime. There's been Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds had references with the bikes. The bike scene has been referenced so many times from cartoon series, or the Akira blob effect, where the person basically the power becomes too much for them. It's been used in Rick and Morty. It's been used in South Park. It's been used in other anime. So that's the reason why I consider Akira probably one of the most important pieces of anime there is.
Does anybody else like have, or we all know what Akira is, right?
I know what it is. I haven't seen it myself.
Yeah, what about you, Squid? You know what Akira is? I'm sure you definitely know what Akira is,
No,
right?
I've never heard of that. Is that real?
One more time?
I've never heard of that. Is that real? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie Akira.
Yeah, of course I've heard of Akira. Do you think I'm stupid?
I mean, I don't know, bro. Sometimes you are wavering. You're on the teetering in intelligence, stupidity. Very close line, right in the middle.
You're
And it's
wrong.
probably
What the heck?
My man cut out and but Akira. It's kind of interesting that he said Akira. Like I talked to him before about Akira. The when it comes down to it, it is a movie. So it's like really tough for me to say this is the most important anime of all time.
Well,
Like,
I can see where you're coming from, but uh you can have like there are several references in cartoons to movies that influential movies in the West all the time. You see that all the time. Like here's Johnny. I've seen that so many times in so many different cartoons. It's kind of ridiculous.
yeah, but like my point on that is I would say Akira is the most important anime movie of all time. But overall anime, it's like it's iconic. I don't know if I would say the most important. What do you got to say about that, Squid? What do you think?
I think it's fine to consider a movie in this list.
Do you think this movie should be on this list?
Wait. I thought our whole thing was we were all picking 3.
Yeah, we are. I mean, we're just talking about Akira right
So I mean,
now
it
'cause that's
wasn't
the
it
one he
wasn't
picked.
in my 3, but I'm not. I don't have. I'm not like upset about it. I think it's a worthy contender.
Of most important. It's still tough for me. Like, all right, so I guess we should all have state our the ones we picked, one of our first ones we picked as well, and then just talk about all of them at once to make it a little bit easier for everybody. So what is one of your picks for the most important anime of all time, Squid?
Uh, okay. I guess so. Similar time period at Akira. I picked Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, you took mine.
He took mine as well.
Get 'em.
see, but my other two are going to be controversial here, so I'm fine with you picking Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it's fine. My other 2, I guarantee you, no one else picked. But I just picked Dragon Ball because I guarantee you, Dragon Ball to me is probably like the Genghis Khan of anime, where like 20% of all humans today have like Genghis Khan DNA. I'm sure that like a huge percentage of weebs today got their start on Dragon Ball Z back in the 90s or like early 2000s. So I think it probably was the one that like, I don't want to say started the wave, but definitely kept the wave going strong for anime in the West. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, like every kid in school loved Dragon Ball Z. And we didn't
Yeah.
like no one understood it back then, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah, like I agree. Like we said similar things how Akira kind of had what's it called? What's the word? It had references, that's the word. It had references in other movies, anime, and cartoon. But Dragon Ball Z is the king of references. Literally everybody's doing a Kamehameha in somewheres or trying to turn Super Saiyan. Like Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion, I think it kind of popularized anime, especially like I'm looking at it more for like the Western culture, especially America. It popularized it like no other, and it was like one of the first real mainstream where it started like its entire franchise. We went from anime, multiple like popular movies. We got video game franchises that are still running strong today, even though the story hasn't changed. They still somehow managed to keep on making Dragon Ball Z game. Like it's literally the craziest thing. It's the story is so iconic, and they still have an ongoing manga right now that people are still like following, despite everybody's disagreements with how the direction is. So yeah, Dragon Ball Z is definitely one of, if not the most important anime of all time, for sure.
That's why I picked it. That's why I stole it from you.
Bro, I had that on the list way before anybody thought of it. Get out of here, man. What are you thinking, Johnny?
Well, honestly, I completely agree with you on everything you just said about Dragon Ball. Seeing how that was also going to be my first one. I also want to point out that there are like everyone's heard of the big three in anime: the Naruto, the One Piece, and the Bleach. They one of them has references or has uh took inspiration from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z specifically. Just look at Naruto and his many different forms in chakra versus ki. There's a lot of similarities in but you can and they in turn have spawned their own like a lot of people have gotten inspiration from those as well, and it just kind of sticks with everything through the time. So does that make sense?
Yeah. And another thing is, even if you're not an anime fan, somehow, some way, you know what Dragon Ball Z is.
It's over 9,000.
Like
You've heard the memes.
You heard the memes. You heard someone try to turn Super Saiyan. You heard someone try to do Kamehameha. Somehow.
If you're my age, you've seen Oprah get pranked by 4chan by saying over 9,000.
Like, exactly. Like, it's even like celebrities that people would think, oh, they don't like anime. They know what Dragon Ball Z is. They're fans of Dragon Ball Z.
Back then, when Oprah was on TV, she had no idea what the meme one meant.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably one of the biggest memes that the Dragon Ball fandom actually did, was convince that. So, in the early days of 4chan, they decided to go into Oprah Winfrey's forums at the time, claim they were part of a pedophile group, and claim that there's over 9,000 penises and all of them are raping children.
Oh my god.
Gosh.
What the hell?
And she said that on TV. So she said it's over 9,000.
See, look what Dragon Ball Z is doing to the world.
Making the world a better place.
Facts.
One Kamehameha at a time.
It was probably one of the biggest and first 4chan pranks at the time.
One Kaioken at a time.
Yeah, and a lot of people also make a living off of Dragon Ball Z. Like, I'm sure a lot of anime YouTubers started off talking about Dragon Ball Z or something like that. I mean, there's an entire, like, Team 4-Star. They're huge with the parody. They started off parodying Dragon Ball Z.
I love their parody
accounts. Like, Dragon Ball Z has definitely taken over. So, yeah, I mean, I think we pretty much said everything when it comes down to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all right. So other than Dragon Ball Z, and then Akira, a very iconic movie that everyone at least knows about for sure when it comes to anime movies. What is your next pick for most important geek?
My second one is going to be a little bit controversial because I'm going to pick Astro Boy.
Ooh,
I didn't see that coming.
I've actually seen some of that anime. Not a whole lot. I've seen a few episodes though.
So
it definitely has a lot of interesting themes to it. I kind of like it. Not gonna lie, I should rewatch that.
Astro Boy, done by Asuma Tezuka. Asuma Tezuka kind of coined really anime at the time. If you look at anything that was kind of done prior to Asuma Tezuka's work, it's very difficult to find. He was kind of the inspiration for Akira Toriyama and a lot of anime at the time. He kind of created shonen and shoujo and a whole lot of different things, to the point where, characters having superpowers. That was really originally done by Azuma Tezuka as him as a creator. As far as influence, it's probably been translated into over at least 26 different languages at this point, and it's been shown in most countries all over the world.
Which do you know which one came first, Mega Man or Astro Boy?
Oh, Astro Boy.
Astro
This was
Boy
before video games were created.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, yeah, Astro Boy's from what, like 1964?
Dang. Astro Boy is the OG Mega
Astro
Man.
Boy, aka Mighty Atom.
Oh my gosh. I actually do.
As far as inspiration for other stuff, even just the ability to like flying in the air was probably done by Astro Boy. And it was at the point where it did deal with a lot of dark topics at the time. You're dealing with someone. The whole idea, people that aren't familiar with Astro Boy, it's the original creator of Astro Boy, his son died in an accident, so he tries to create someone that's similar, who has very similar memories, and he ends up hating Astro Boy as a result, and he gets rejected. And he gets sent to the circus.
I love how he dies, by the way. He like tries to drive a car, doesn't he? But he's a dumb little kid, and he crashes it and dies. And that's in like every version of Astro Boy.
That's actually, it's funny. In the movie that came out in the West, it was a few years ago, so I don't remember how long ago it was. But he actually ended up being a stupid kid and walked into a government facility with a giant death robot in it, and locked himself in with the death robot.
Did they ever call him Mighty Atom in that movie?
No, I don't think they did.
Bad movie.
God damn. Astro Boy's origins is not the faint of heart, for sure. I'm curious though, does Astro Boy draw inspiration from Pinocchio?
No, it actually predates that.
Pinocchio? Really?
Yeah, so the original art style was actually was inspired by Betty Boop at the time. Azuma Tezuka was a huge fan of Western animation. So like Betty Boop and all that. That's the reason why the eye style that's even still used in anime today is done that way, because Azuma Tezuka did that.
Now I'm kind of curious. So when was Astro Boy originated? It says 1952. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Pinocchio I feel like is definitely before 1952.
Well, the
Pinocchio
idea
came out in
I think
1940.
that's a yeah.
That doesn't necessarily. I mean, two things can be similar and happen across the world with no connection.
That's true, but that's why I brought it up. Like, there's always coincidence, but the story just reminds me of Pinocchio. So I was wondering if he drew inspiration from Pinocchio, and there's like it would make sense.
Well, Pinocchio, he's not trying to create a copy of his dead son. He just is like an impotent man who wants a son.
No, but you can draw inspiration from it, because in Pinocchio, I mean, he's creating he's creating like a son.
The story of Pinocchio is, it was a fairy tale. So while it's probably not inspired by the actual Disney film, it was probably inspired by the actual fairy tale.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right.
Pinocchio also, like, it definitely wasn't the Pinocchio film, because I'm pretty sure Pinocchio came out when we were like at war with Japan.
Yeah, I don't know about. I remember. Oh, the cartoon Disney film. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't know why I was blank. I was thinking of just a fairy tale.
All right, yeah, it was probably done by it was probably inspired by the fairy tale itself. But even on Azuma Tezuka's deathbed, his final thing that he actually said is, "Please God, let me live another year so I can finish more work."
Man,
that is dedication to the manga he was doing, and the studio still produces work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like Astro Boy is a series that can always be relevant, even in the modern times like this, with the like very similar to how Mega Man is. It's a story that can never truly be outdated because it's based on like a more futuristic type world. It will just be updated. So I could feel like Astro Boy would always be relevant.
And in
in
every
some way.
incarnation, he's still filled up by putting gas in his butt.
Can I just say something really quick that's
Wait.
completely off topic?
That's weirder than the machine guns in his butt.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Do you guys want to
Squid?
know something like weird and scary?
What?
The
Depending.
Nintendo. You guys know Nintendo, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea who
Nintendo
Mario is.
predates Dracula and Sherlock Holmes.
Dracula? Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes makes sense, but Dracula?
I don't like that at all. I don't like knowing
Because
that.
the concept of Dracula came from an actual historical figure, so
No, Bram Stoker made Dracula, you dingus.
but it's inspired by an actual historical figure. Are you talking about the movie or the?
No, I'm talking
Like,
about
is there a
Bram
book?
Stoker creating Dracula in 1897.
Is that a book?
Yes. What? Do you not know anything about Dracula, boy?
Hell no, bro. I just know that there's a movie and it's this famous vampire.
Yeah, it's based on a book from the 1800s.
Oh,
That's when
Okay.
Dracula was created.
okay, interesting. Yeah, I didn't even
Oh.
know in Nintendo predates all the way back to the before and around the 1800s.
Mitsubishi used to make samurai armor, so
Japan's a
Really?
wild place. Japan is pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
I wonder if I can go and order some.
Well, no, if you get a Mitsubishi car, there's like a special button in it that if you press it, you turn into like a samurai mech.
I'm drawing
Well,
that now.
it's better than they used to have ads with Hatsune Miku for the West.
Oh my god, have you ever seen the Domino's one? The Hatsune Miku Domino's ad is one of the worst things that humans have ever created.
Man, that sounded yeah, it definitely sounds interesting. I respect the Astro Boy pick for sure. Yeah, I definitely think it definitely seems very important, especially considering the concept and whatnot. I was gonna say something, but I completely forgot. But anyway, Squid, what is your second most important anime?
All right, buckle up for a god tier pick. Are you ready? I'm gonna say Noblesse.
Really?
Because I don't know. I'm not smart, so I don't know if it was the first serious webcomic anime type thing, OVA. But it definitely was the first of its quality, and without it, we wouldn't have like God of High School, Tower of God, Soul Love. Like none of these would be getting anime today without Noblesse. Like Noblesse really was the mark or like the start of a new era for anime where it didn't have to be a traditional manga. It could come from other places.
I have
And I know a lot of people would probably say that One Punch Man kind of did that, but I don't count One Punch Man because the actual original like one manga isn't what got an anime adaptation, so it doesn't count.
So then Mob Psycho 100.
No, because Mob Psycho came out way late.
Yeah, but it's still based on the same guy. It's the same guy who wrote it and drew it out.
I know, but it doesn't matter because people realized with One Punch Man that like he wrote good stories. So Mob Psycho isn't as cool. I mean, it's a better anime, but it's not as like scary.
But for Noblesse, like I'm aware of the name, don't know anything about the story itself. Is the anime adaptation? Is it like a good anime? Though?
Yeah, no, it's like surprisingly the animation is like top tier, as good as you would have found anywhere when it was made. It's pretty. I think it's getting a new anime. I think next year, maybe this year, sometime.
No, COVID, everything is up in the air.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember because it was announced. The Noblesse anime was announced before Tower of God, but I think they were actually like taking their time with it because it's scary. It's basically Noblesse is sort of like a retelling of Dracula and Frankenstein, among a bunch of others.
Ooh,
interesting.
I like Frankenstein.
Yeah, Frankenstein's like his little buddy that runs around with him.
Oh, that's lame.
Well, I say little, but he's like
lame,
a tall, very attractive blonde man who.
Oh, that's no. I'm sorry. That's not allowed. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? What do you want him to look like?
I just saw a picture of Frankenstein.
Yeah,
or is this a wolf?
What do you want, Johnny? What do you want Frankenstein to look like? You want him to be a short, bald man?
I don't. He was never. Yeah, a tall, giant behemoth of a man.
What? Frankenstein was what? Where in the book or anything did it say that Frankenstein was a giant of a man?
In the movies.
When?
Actually, Frankenstein is not his name. It's just the monster.
Yeah, you guys are thinking of it as the monster, not the guy. I'm talking about the guy, the man.
Oh.
He's just like running around with Dracula in there, bebopping and having fun.
Yeah, right.
He's like a magician.
See, I'm thinking of the whole idea of Frankenstein's monster. Everyone just calls him Frankenstein, though.
Yeah, but legally, you can be killed for doing that, so don't do it.
You could be killed for a lot of things, especially in Russia.
I'll say this. So you're basically saying Noblesse is a very important anime, one of the most important, because it paved the way for webtoon adaptations.
No, not webtoon. There's web comics. Webtoon is just like some random company that publishes web comics and manhwa.
I mean, Noblesse is a webtoon.
Yeah,
I have a webtoon.
It doesn't matter if something's as a manhwa can be published on any platform. Doesn't need to just be webtoon. But
yes, but they were the ones who ended up with a deal. Who made a deal with specifically Crunchyroll to make it.
Yeah, I'm sure they regret it. But without Noblesse, like, I think it would have taken a lot longer, if ever, we got like actual manhwa adaptations.
Because I see what you're saying, but like I feel like a lot of people doesn't even know Noblesse like exists, and then Tower of God came and kind of blew everybody away that it got an adaptation. And from everybody, like even I assumed Tower of God was like the first adaptation, considering like, you know,
you're making a lot of assumptions here that people are out of your brain.
Surprisingly, there was actually an anime that was made that was mostly made by someone who was Korean with a Japanese team, but it actually got like its own manga and stuff. It's called Radiant. I've watched the first season. It's a pretty good one.
Radiant came out,
but it's actually
made
by Korean. The original author is Korean.
Yeah, it came out.
Yeah,
so,
Korean living in France.
I mean, if it's a manga, then it's a manga then. So.
Yeah, it got a manga, so it had a better chance of.
Yeah, it's on Viz and everything. So.
Yeah, it's not bad. Honestly, I think that also helped a lot with the whole idea of what's it called? Making webcomics and Korean manhwas.
Well, the Radiant anime was much less popular than the Noblesse OVA.
Yeah,
true.
I've heard. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I've heard that the Radiant is actually pretty good. But the anime is not good. That's what I've heard.
I've only seen the anime.
It's kind of generic for me.
I watched it. It's okay.
I'll just read the manga.
It feels like Elemental Delayed, which was like that was the sort of generic Shonen Jump anime in my time type of thing.
Honestly, it kind of felt to me like Fairy Tail and Soul Eater had a weird baby.
That's an
you know what?
Mix.
I see that. That's an
interesting mix. I'm just gonna read the manga. I feel like I don't know. because I don't know anything about Radiant. I've seen a few designs. It looks interesting.
I'm gonna read the manga eventually, but
yeah, lots of manga to read. But yeah, the entire thing. I feel like Tower of God would eventually take this spot, because after Tower of God, I'm sure like a ton of webtoons and manhwas are just going to be piling in after Crunchyroll saw how Tower of God was making bank. So yeah, I'm sure the webtoon and manhwa business is definitely going to go up from here for sure. And I'm interested in Noblesse now, so I need to check that out.
See, my third choice is going to cause a debate, so that's why I've been very quiet on this one.
Hey, fair enough. So Johnny Boy, what is your second most important anime?
second most important anime I think is you guys are gonna look at me like I'm weird, but hear me out. SAO.
I 100% agree. Good pick, Johnny.
It honestly inspired a huge subgenre in the anime industry. And it just all of a sudden, you could see, like, was it in 2019 where we just had like 8 different isekai anime? And now we some of us are just
I actually would question
genre.
that because that is not the first isekai.
No,
Yeah,
it's not the first. It is not the first, but
like
it is
a
the
dive
one
MMO, right?
I think
it is not the first isekai. Heck, Digimon was came way before it.
Yeah.
But
Escaflowne.
Okay, well,
see,
I'm
I think
saying
a good
that
way to put it
SAO is the one that really
popularized
popularized it and made it mainstream.
No,
I
SEO
still
Dot
haven't
hack.
seen Inuyasha.
more so
Gosh
than
dang it.
anything else.
Dot hack, I think I did that. I think did that before Sword Art Online, and it actually has the same music composer.
You said
Oh,
what?
really?
Hack? Yeah, I've heard of Hack.
Dot hack,
Yeah, I've heard of it.
and
But
it's
yeah,
actually
go
one
on.
of the studio that was involved in Dot hack actually got the staff drunk before they worked on it.
That's hilarious. Now I want to watch it.
There's a lot of dot hack like series. Like there's a lot. So that's a huge ride. But yeah, go on with what you're saying about SEO.
Yeah, I think it definitely made the genre more mainstream and popularized the idea of the main character going into another world.
Being OP.
Yeah, being overpowered and all this other stuff. Even though when you really think about it, it's a pretty simplistic concept, but everyone loves it.
Yeah.
Or hate it.
Or hate it. Well, I personally really like it.
I like I would agree in the sense that SAO, when it comes to isekai, it popularized it more so than any other isekai we've seen, period. The concept itself is, you get trapped in the world and, OP protagonists, you're in a video game type world. Simple, I would agree, but SAO kind of made it mainstream. I don't like how SAO did it, but the concept is unquestionable. I like how other isekai, I would say, definitely done it better, but SEO kind of led the way.
I honestly say there's a lot of things that did it better than SAO, but it definitely brought it out. It popularized it
for sure. But yeah, Squid, you said you agreed. Do you have anything to add on?
I mean it really did a lot to popularize like the dive MMO genre. We got Overlord, we got Log Horizon, we got a bunch of anime now.
I still need to see Log Horizon.
Log Horizon is very good.
It's bad, don't watch it. But
if you meant good.
No, I did not. It's if you want to fall asleep and also kill yourself, watch Log Horizon. But yeah, no, I think Sword Art Online, it was also great for getting even more people into anime, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, true. Very true. All right. So SAO, I had a feeling SAO definitely was going to make an appearance as one of the most important anime. Kind of going off that trope a little bit. And my second one I was debating on putting Demon Slayer here, debating on it because of how it blew up for mainstream media. But I think it just was trending. Like I don't think it really did anything crazy. But with that said, for the new generation, I definitely have to give credit where credit is due, even though it's not my most favorite shonen currently. My Hero Academia. It's very
yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to how Dragon Ball Z, started everything. My Hero Academia kind of just reignited the anime fan base when it comes to shonen when it first dropped, and as it continues, it's definitely driving in more fans, like a lot of new fans in this newer like generation of anime fandom. Like a lot of people, that's why you have a lot of people who say, "Oh, MHA is the greatest anime of all time," because literally the reason why they started watching anime is because they watched MHA in the first place. So, and the fact that it has a premise that is very popular in the West right now, centered around superheroes and have it basically in a more modern society, it makes it a very relatable with what we know in with the comic books and whatnot. So it was easy to get into, very visually well done. The protagonist I wouldn't say is the most intricate, but he's simple. But that simplicity is good for an anime fan who's just starting anime. So
That's
yeah,
true.
I would definitely give credit where credit is due and give My Hero Academia one of the most important anime of all time.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from. I can think of like I'm gonna say that One Punch Man, in my opinion, does a better job with that. But then again, that's more targeted towards an older audience.
Yeah, and I would say One Punch Man is a better anime by
I
far.
agree.
But I don't think One Punch Man grabbed people like My Hero does. Like it's still bringing in new fans to this day. So I would say One Punch Man. Like I would say it's comedy. It drives people off sometimes because people don't understand the parody nature because it's parodying a lot of like anime we know today, and people
Well,
watch
it
it
was
like, "What
one
is?"
of my it was one of my first anime that I watched, so I personally I had no problem with it.
Yeah, but you said one of your first, not your very first.
Well,
So
yeah,
it's
it's like the third anime that I watched.
it's definitely an anime I wouldn't recommend to watch first. It's definitely like it's an anime I would recommend to a new anime fan because it's short and it's entertaining. But it's definitely not the first anime I'll tell you to get into.
My brother Colin he um he was he still is like very skeptical about anime, but he will watch One Punch Man.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Does anybody have anything else to say about My Hero Academia?
It doesn't belong on this list.
I agree. You know what?
I mean, it does more so than Noblesse. Ugh.
Honestly, I agree.
You're a heretic and a
Yeah.
fool.
I've never even heard of Noblesse until this podcast.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
How is it my fault that you guys don't know anime? Why is that on me now?
Because you're supposed to appeal to the audience,
You're not my audience. I hate you three.
So my third pick is going to cause debate on this one. So I think everyone has one anime on this list that everyone's going to debate about. So
Honestly, yeah, I do have. My last one is one that'll definitely be debated about.
Fair enough. All right, so Geek, what is your third controversial anime that you don't want us to hear about?
So I think it's relevant because it's come back this year. It's being rebooted.
Actually, you know what would be fun?
We're talking about Bleach?
What will be fun is you give us some hints, and then we'll try to guess it for the last one.
Okay, it's being rebooted by an American studio.
Oh, don't ask me. Never mind.
Was he right about Bleach?
Generator Rex.
That'd be cool.
Generator Rex.
Something that is influential to American society at this moment.
Influential in American
And
society.
even when it came out, it pissed off liberal people, it pissed off conservative people, but it was influential in its creation.
What the hell is this anime?
This sounds like it could be any anime.
Right? I'm trying to figure out what this anime is.
People get pissed off over
I'm talking
everything.
about Madhouse's version of Boondocks.
No
What?
way Boondocks is getting an anime. Oh no, Boondocks is a
I've never
Boondocks
even heard
was
of it.
done by Madhouse.
What the hell is Boondocks?
Bro.
I have no idea. I've never heard
Bro,
of
are
it.
you kidding
Is
me?
that
Y'all
the
don't
one?
know-
Is that the
Oh
one where
my.
he's like, it's the Luther burger, and if it's like a donut?
I am
Is there-
so disappointed.
Is there a
You
black
guys
old man in that show, and he has
are
grandsons?
so uncultured. You guys are so uncultured.
I'm looking at Boondocks.
I'm so disappointed in both of you. Oh my MNG.
Okay, to be
I've
honest,
seen
I
this.
am
Why would
a.
I watch this, dude? I
I
don't
may
watch
be.
cartoons.
I haven't seen that much anime. Okay.
No, this is an American cartoon, technically.
Technically, it is an anime because it is done by Madhouse Studios.
So
It's
that's
like
why-
Boondocks was like a ripoff of Afro Samurai.
You open
Yeah,
the gates when you mention webtoons being adapted by a Japanese studio.
I never mentioned.
All right. You saying Boondocks is the most important? Why? Like, why would you say Boondocks? It's entertaining, but I don't know.
Because this was originally started as as a cartoon strip, and when it got adapted to a thing, it went from something that Aaron Magruder himself wanted to create for the Black generation, ended up basically introducing a whole, no matter what ethnicity that you're from, into this world, and introducing people into a whole different ideology and a whole sort of background of this was sort of the first thing that was kind of done, that was produced by Adult Swim at the time, funded by Adult Swim and Madhouse Studios. And realistically, like, a lot of the episodes, while they were talking about politics back then, it's kind of still the same situation today. You can look back on any of the ones talking about, race or religion or politics, whatever it is, and it's still influencing even the whole YouTube culture at the moment. The whole reactionary thing, you could pretty much take that as like YouTuber A, this reactionary thing, and the left-wing YouTuber references this type, batters it out. But behind the scenes, they could be probably shooting shit, because at the same time, they make money off each other.
That's I can kind of see where you're going when it comes to Boondocks, and it's kind of revolutionary in the sense that a cartoon's getting adapted to an anime itself. But my thing is, like, overall, it's impactful, but it's important on the entire like anime genre. I definitely
as far as important the anime genre, if you think about it this way, this is probably the second time that Adult Swim has actually funded something that was produced over in Japan. The first time being the Big O. They produced the second season. That
I
was
remember the Big O.
very Batman-esque type of thing, but it was very popular, but the influence didn't really continue on. There was attempts to try to continue. The same thing with Fooly Cooly. This is the first time that it kind of influenced a lot of things. Like, BET tried to shut down the production of it numerous times because the amount of takes that they, the best line I heard is just like, well, since the production of BET, we've done more against the Black community than the KKK combined. Quotes like that actually came from the show was And
Yeah.
it's still kind of, there was a whole episode where it's they had some Fox commentator and a knockoff of Johnny Carson on for an entire episode, and then it's just them bitching about each other. It's just like, oh yeah, we're just mates. We do this to make money on the side. You could take that. Look at Candace Owen.
Yeah, I would definitely say the Boondocks pushes boundaries. Like that's unquestionable.
As far
And
as influence, like because of that, there was a lot of people like from the West that ended up getting into anime, such as I'm trying to remember the name of the studio now. There is a black anime studio that's actually out at the moment that was inspired by Boondocks when it did get
that
adapted.
is, I know that. Yeah, I would. Okay, I could definitely see where you're going. There are a lot of
And there was an American
creators.
American director for one of the animated films, Tech on Concrete.
Yeah. Okay, I can see where you're going now. I can definitely influenced black creators much more than most anime. So yeah, I can agree to this one then. I can definitely agree to this one. Anybody else got anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
Are we talking about the Kennedy assassination?
We're talking about the Boondocks.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow,
Not real, don't like.
not real. No anime is real.
You're saying Piccolo isn't real? My world is now shattered.
You just invented them in your brain.
I mean, that's all anime. We all invent everything in the brain. It's called our imagination when it comes down to it. But yeah. All right. So we got the Boondocks, we got Astro Boy, and we got Akira for Geek. Squid, what is your last pick? Give us some hints to see if we can guess it.
A hint, huh? This anime, I would say, is one of the most influential on like setting standards for shonen anime out of anything that's existed.
Setting standards for shonen anime. We already talked about Dragon Ball Z. I guess you could say Naruto. Can you say Naruto?
You could, you'd just be wrong.
Anybody else got a guess?
I've got no clue. Gonna
The
be
main
honest.
character is a youthful boy.
That doesn't
Hunter x Hunter.
narrow it
You're
down.
gonna say Hunter x Hunter, aren't you?
Any more
Conan.
guesses? Conan, the late night host?
No, Detective Conan.
Oh, no.
My man's about to say Hunter x Hunter.
Well, now I'm not gonna say it until you guys guess it. So we're gonna keep going.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, fine.
I'm
guessing. I don't know.
Yugi.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Pokemon.
No.
Bakugan. No.
All right, this is
Does
gonna
anyone
take too long,
remember
so I'll
that?
just tell you. It's Hunter x Hunter.
Bro,
He said Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, but I hate RTL, so I didn't want him to be right.
I was right. The moment he said young boy, I was like Hunter x Hunter. Like this is no question. All right. Let's tell me how this anime is somehow the most important shonen of all time or some stuff.
It was the first shonen to ever be good. On top of that, it set the gold standard for like top tier shonen writing. It still hasn't been surpassed. Here's what you gotta understand. When it comes to like creative aspirations, or really any, you need to have a goal, right? Like if you were to get into boxing, you would use like Floyd Mayweather as your goal. You'd be like, I want to someday reach like those heights. That's what Hunter x Hunter is for shonen. It is the Floyd Mayweather of shonen, where you make a shonen anime and you're like, God, I hope I can just be 1% as good as Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think
Yeah,
Hunter
well, you
x
don't
Hunter
know
is very
anything.
good.
I can understand why people would
If-
think that is important, but not for the reasons you're saying. I'm sorry.
Well, it's
If Hunter x Hunter
important
is
just for
the
being the
George
best shonen.
Mayflower of,
George Mayweather.
if he is the George Mayflower of, the
Floyd
anime world,
Mayweather.
does that make Medica Box the Mike Tyson where he bites off the
Bro,
ear?
all right, let's not
I don't know,
compare
is-
Medica Box to Hunter x
Is
Hunter. Now.
Medica Box coming back?
Probably not. It's been when was the anime animated?
Well, then it's not like Mike Tyson because he's back.
True.
Oh, well, wait. That means Hunter x Hunter can't. Oh my
What do you
gosh.
mean? Floyd Mayweather's
Bro.
retired. He's gone.
Hunter x
He's not
Hunter.
retired. He's just on permanent hiatus because of every idle game that comes out.
That is true, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, my analogy was genius, just like me, because Floyd Mayweather will say, like, oh, I'm done, I'm taking a break, and then he'll just randomly come back to fight some, like, stupid idiot, and then he'll be like, no, I'm done for real this time, then he'll come back again.
Hunter x Hunter is never coming back.
You're a fool and a false
I
prophet.
seriously hope not. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I would want. There's an OVA I would want of Crollo and Hisoka's fight, but other than that, we don't really need
Why
the
would
anime.
anyone... No, literally no one that has a big brain would want that. Who would just... Okay, they're going to make an OVA, just randomly skipping to a fight in the manga that no one understands.
No, they would lead up to it. What? Come on, Squid. They would lead up to it
You
and
guys
then
are
do
insane.
the fight. Anyway,
Also, wait, how... If we're talking about most important anime, how is Hunter x Hunter not a worthy inclusion just based on the fact that it's the best shonen ever made?
well, saying it's the best shonen ever made is completely subjective. First of all,
Wrong.
yes, it's
No.
right.
Yeah.
And that kind of contradicts your point of being Dragon Ball.
What about Dragon Ball?
Yeah,
Dragon Ball's
what
not a shonen anime.
Yeah, it is.
No, it
Yeah,
isn't.
it is.
Dragon Ball is literally just Dragon Ball. It's its own
Dragon
thing.
Ball
Oh
is-
my gosh.
It has its
Dragon
own
Ball.
horrible art style, its own horrible animation, its own horrible story, and it all comes
That's
together
it.
to make Dragon Ball
You're
a wonderful
canceled.
thing.
I mean, he's kind of on the nose. Like Dragon Ball, at no point can really you could say it's doing this better than
You
another.
could
show.
not take... There's no aspect of Dragon Ball that you could remove. Like, everything in Dragon Ball is a careful balancing act, and you could not take, like, anything from Dragon Ball Z and put it in another anime and try and make it work. Toriko did
Bruh.
that, and it sucked.
Facts. Like Dragon Ball Z is
No, I'm talking Dragon Ball,
a
the original Dragon Ball series.
Nah, but nobody cared about that until Dragon Ball Z. Like,
Let's
Not
be
in the
honest,
West. Not in the West. That's because of Harmony Gold and a bunch of other companies.
it just
But
wasn't
everywhere, every other country.
compared to Dragon Ball Z. When it comes down to it, the thing that people liked, especially if you're young, is the over exaggeration of literally everything that is done in Dragon Ball Z. The little yelling, the powering up and taking like 5 episodes to turn to Super Saiyan, the freaking fights that are just like like pulses throughout the fight. Is like they're literally doing the same motion, but they're just moving really fast. It's like it's Dragon Ball Z is not the most. It's not. I wouldn't give Dragon Ball Z the best at any one thing, but it does. Like Squid just said, it's balanced out, so it's so entertaining for some odd reason, and we just want more.
I like Dragon Ball Z because if you think about it, can you even name one fight that was like even close in Dragon Ball Z? Every Dragon Ball Z fight is settled by like someone gets their ass beat, then powers up, then beats someone else's ass.
Well, Majin Vegeta versus Goku.
That
Even
doesn't
though
count.
Goku
We don't
holding
talk about that.
The
Alright.
original Piccolo versus Goku fight.
Okay, we can talk about all power scaling all night, to be honest. But
All right. Anyway, so Hunter x Hunter. I mean, it does deserve a shout. I think the most important thing when it comes to Hunter x Hunter is the fact that it
Chimera Ant arc. Sorry.
It's great. It's great. And it perfectly blended. Like, it's like before Demon Slayer, before My Hero had some of the better animation, Hunter x Hunter had like perfect animation, perfect music, all blended in with its storytelling. And it was just so well done when it comes to an anime adaptation that I would agree with this Squid. A lot of shonen want that. They want that perfect adaptation. Demon Slayer is getting that, but it still has an entire series to go.
Hunter
And
x
My
Hunter
Hero
also had like the cutest waifu probably that we've ever seen.
Oh gosh, I'm
Biscuit.
afraid to ask.
Biscuit?
So-
Are you really talking about Biscuit?
Bisca? Wait, what?
Oh, did you say Hisoka?
You're damn right I did.
Okay, actually, I agree with him.
Jesus, bro. But yeah, Hunter. Okay, we got from Squid history selection for Hunter x Hunter, Dragon Ball Z, and Noblesse. All right, Johnny Boy, third one. Give us some hints. See if we can
Okay.
guess it.
Oh, hang on, I have to remember what it was.
One Piece.
Wow. Okay, actually, yes, it was that.
I had a feeling.
There's a reason why it is one of the big three, supposedly in the West, anyway. One Piece has it all. It's got great comedy, fantastic. It has an intriguing, overarching story, great waifus, some amazing characters. I just love the whole world building. There's a lot of things that it does, and there's a reason why it's so darn popular. Now, the length of it turns makes people a little, what's it called, intimidated by it, which is why it's not like it's not as well loved by anime the newer generation of anime lovers. But it has a lot of really great moments and it just a lot. It is beloved by so many people, arguably just as many people as Dragon Ball Z. I'd say maybe not. Maybe not. Now I think about it.
I mean, One Piece is the best-selling manga of all time, so probably, especially it probably has all of the East, hands down. I kind of push back with One Piece. The reason why, when it comes to manga, is hands down one of, if not the most important manga of all time, especially the shonen. But when it comes to the anime adaptation, I just push back on that. I just don't think the anime adaptations as like revolutionary.
No, yeah, the anime itself isn't good, but well, okay, it's not. I'd say it's on the same when it comes to animation level. I'd say it's on the same animation quality rather. I'd say it's on the same level as Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
Can you sing the whole opening for the One Piece rap they do in 4Kids?
Yeah, yo.
Man, that
Don't
was
give
something.
it up, Luffy dreaming.
That was something.
I don't know the whole rap, but I love making fun of it. It's so good.
Does anybody else have anything else to say about One Piece? Anything about One Piece? I'm gonna take that as a no. But
Wow.
what I will say about One Piece is I think the problem with it is that for an anime that has such a long story, I mean the manga is in the 900s. The problem with it is obviously the animation is not the greatest, but it's not bad and it's not unbearable. I think the biggest thing with it is definitely pacing and filler issues that really don't give it justice, especially if you're trying to endure this long
Naruto.
series.
What?
Bleach.
Yeah, but Naruto, Naruto and Bleach, I wouldn't include on this list either as like one of the most important anime of all time. You take out filler for Naruto and Bleach, it's I mean, if you include it, it's still way shorter than One Piece. So it's like it's One Piece is like triple both Naruto and Bleach.
The anime?
Right? Yeah. It's like what? The anime's in the 900s.
Wait.
Naruto anime was when did the Naruto anime?
That's like 8.
3?
No, are we counting Shippuden? Because if we count Shippuden, that's over 700 episodes.
Oh, okay. Well, Naruto Shippuden is nowhere as good as OG Naruto anyway. So
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So it just is.
And quite honestly, Boruto is surpassing even that of Shippuden.
No, let's chill. Let's stop it here. Let's pin it.
According to Nuxtaku.
Bro, that's just the last one.
According to Nuxtaku, it is the greatest anime of all time because it brings weebs together to hate on.
That is fair.
True.
Fair.
But just like when Naruto was popular, everyone hated Naruto fans.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, but Naruto was good. So
that is also true.
I know. We called them Narutards. It was a thing.
That is true. That is true. I've been called a Narutard, even though I'm not a huge fan. I'm not like the biggest fan of Naruto.
Did you have a headband?
Nope, I don't.
Hey, Naruto inspired some things as well, just not at the level of DBZ.
No, I don't think very many have. Not very many anime have. Gotta be honest.
Facts. All right. So last most important anime is mine. So I guess I'll give you guys some hints. I would say this is the anime that if you have a friend and he's never watched anime, and he said, "What anime should I watch first?"
You're gonna say Death Note.
There we go. See, right there. There we go. I love hearing.
I have not seen Death Note.
I mean, is there anything else to say? Like, he knew it was Death Note. It's the anime that everybody's literally asks their friend, tells their friend to watch first over any other anime. Its premise is so original. It's crazy. Its story is so captivating. It's crazy, and it takes like everybody sees like the anime girls, they're drawn off from that, or the big explosions, and then you show them Death Note, and they go like, "Oh my god, what is this?" Like they haven't really seen anything like this before, and it's only 24 episodes. So hands down, if I had to pick a third anime, Death Note definitely deserves a spot as one of the most important anime of all time. I have yet to see an anime that people. I don't know if we're ever gonna get an anime that's like it's like Death Note in the sense that it's literally the first anime everybody recommends to people to watch very first.
I don't know. Code Geass is close to that, I'd like to say, but at the same time, I don't know.
Also, as mecha, like the thing about Code Geass is not everybody's interested in the mecha thing.
That's true.
And Code Geass definitely fluctuates with its quality, and then it has the best ending of all time. So I think Death Note's pretty consistent, especially in the beginning. It grabs you right away.
The table didn't consent.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. But about Death Note.
I have not seen it. However, I have heard a crap ton, like a metric crap ton about how great it is and whatnot. I can't help but respect just how many people admire the show. So
and we're forgetting the most important part of Death Note. It is the only time where a potato chip has become a meme.
That is true. That is true.
Man, definitely made a potato chip meme. That is facts. All right, Squid. Any last things you want to say?
Death Note's way overrated.
Wow.
Death Note fans are delusional.
Wow.
Well, I feel like he's
You guys
just
gonna
saying that,
take that?
and he doesn't really believe it.
Literally, Death Note gets so bad, and they're like, "Oh, just ignore that part." Can't do that.
So
You're
bad.
talking about an anime that was actually banned in China
Do you realize how much
for
stuff has been banned in
anti-communist
China?
themes.
What?
You can't deny the fact that like it was influential in its state.
GTA 5
And
was
even
banned in
is still
Australia.
influential.
It's not an influential game, though.
It better not be an influential game. All right, let's play. If I write your name in a notebook, let's see if you die.
That sounds awesome.
That's like
It's
Russian
like
roulette.
Russian roulette.
And it was actually one of the first YouTube sketches. If you look up Smosh's old sketches, it was their first sketch was Death Note and Life Note.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez,
I
that probably
gotta look
went
that
very
up.
well. But yeah, Death Note is the last anime of our greatest anime of all time. So this is the 3 anime each of us have chosen for today's episode of Kickback Anime Discussion. I think the one that has been said the most probably deserves the most credit, and
DBZ.
let's just be honest, Dragon Ball Z is that iconic. Sorry to say, even
Well,
if you might hate it.
I don't particularly hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it. It is I respect it, if that makes any sense. I am one who I realize what something is worth, basically. And
Facts.
it is clearly worth a lot to a lot of people. So I respect it. I will never trash it unless it's for a meme.
Hey, fair enough, fair enough. And I heard that Vegeta finally surpassed Goku, so something.
Only for like a few minutes, I think.
I have
I'm
no
pretty
idea
sure
what's
he's
going
still
on.
stronger than Goku.
Shoot,
The
all I
author
saw,
finally realized that Vegeta is cool.
I finally realized.
Vegeta's the only cool character. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, Trunks. You saying
Okay,
Trunks is not
Trunks.
cool?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
but
Trunks,
half of
Trunks,
Trunks'
Trunks.
coolness is Vegeta, so.
That's true.
And then we got Teen Gohan.
Actually, let's be honest, 100% of Trunks' coolness is from Vegeta, because no one is like, no one's like,
Bulma-
oh, I love Trunks because he's so much like Bulma.
And
No.
my
That's not
man
a
uses
thing.
a sword, bro. My man uses a sword.
And
That's
time
all it's
travels.
and time travels. But yeah,
Because timey-wimey. Or blue wobbly.
all right. All right, so that is the Kickback Anime Discussions episode 13. Be back for next week, Saturday, when we talk about where we tried to figure out the best Straw Hat crew for each one of us here. And we're going to use different anime characters to find out the perfect Straw Hat crew when it comes down to it. So that should be...
So there should be a rule of not using any
One Piece characters?
no One Piece characters. It has to be some from other shows.
Yeah, and I think I found my captain. So
I'm gonna have to look
Oh,
up
you
what
found
the
your
hell a
captain?
Straw Hat crew is.
Well, I can briefly explain it, but yeah, that's it. This has been Kickback Anime Discussions. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.